Angeles International Airport, a nightmare is playing out. The lives of 146 people on board are all resting on this single piece of twisted metal. The next few seconds will determine whether the front landing gear holds up on touchdown or snaps in two, slamming the nose of the plane into the runway. As news cameras follow the action, a worldwide audience of millions holds its breath.
Very serious situation. It all comes down to the next few moments for those people who are on board this flight.
It's 6:17 p.m. This plane took off nearly 3 hours ago from Burbank Airport, just 30 miles away. But instead of heading to New York as planned, it's been circling LAX, preparing for an emergency touchdown. Problems began just minutes after takeoff, when the pilot attempted to retract the plane's landing gear. Now he knows there's a serious problem. He's just not sure what it is. Dave Reinitz was a passenger on this flight, and he remembers the moment the pilot announced they had a problem.
So I'm sitting there and I'm kind of in that hazy traveler's sleep thing, and then there's some commotion about the cabin. The pilot comes on and he says, we have an indication that there may be some problems with the landing gear.
As the gravity of the situation sinks in, Dave picks up his video camera and starts to film.
There was some tension in the plane. You could feel people getting a little bit nervous. And then a little while later, maybe 5 minutes later, he comes on again. And he says, so we are going to do a visual inspection of the landing gear. So we're going to go down to Long Beach and we're going to fly low and slow
Long
so
Beach.
that they can see the landing gear to determine
Where I
whether in
live.
fact there's a problem. And so now it's getting a little bit nervous. Now we're detoured. We're going in a different direction. We're going to another airport to look at it. So again, it gets a little bit more nervous.
Long Beach Air Traffic Control determines the landing
Long
gear
Beach.
is twisted and stuck in the wrong position. An emergency landing is now inevitable. For the 140 passengers on board, things are about to take a surreal turn.
There were TVs on the plane, and all of a sudden, there's coverage of some plane in trouble on the TV. So I'm watching the television, and there's a plane having a problem, and suddenly, I'm thinking, wow, the poor folks on that plane. Then I realize that's the plane we're on. That's us.
Turn the TV off,
Some
man.
people turn it right off, like they don't want to know. But I think most people are really focused on it, and then they're kind of comparing notes. What are you watching? What are they saying? What are they saying? What's going on?
Tension is rising in the cabin, and the nightmare won't end anytime soon. The Airbus A320 isn't designed to dump fuel, so the pilot has to stay in the air until his tanks are nearly empty.
Mm-hmm.
We realized it was going to be a couple of hours of flying around burning off fuel before the emergency landing. It's kind of like, hey, you're going to have a car accident, but hang out for a couple of hours.
The pilot knows that if he attempts this landing with full fuel tanks, a single spark could turn the plane into a massive fireball. He needs to be at the right weight for landing. Land too hard, and he could snap the landing gear right off. Just as important, his remaining fuel needs to be in the tanks at the back of the plane, so he can keep the nose of the plane off the ground for as long as possible. As the moment of impact approaches, Dave records what he thinks could be his final words to his girlfriend.
Hey, Barb, it's me. I'm watching the plane on the TV. We're having landing gear problems. We're going to crash land or emergency land. Crash is a bad word. LAX.
Yeah.
And they told us everything's going to be fine. And it is. But just thought I'd need to mention this just in case. If I look at it, everything is going to be groovy.
The minutes slowly tick away, and after 3 agonizing hours, the end of this flight
3
is near, and the
hours
captain prepares to
up
land his
in the
damaged plane.
air.
As time rolls, and we get closer and closer to the emergency landing, they start to prepare us. And it's a weird thing. I have to decide which position I want to be in. So I've got a couple of choices. And the choice is either you can put your arms up high and lean against the front, or you can go down low and put your head between your knees. So all of a sudden I have to decide, what position would I like to be in a plane crash in? Now, what position do you want to die
There'll be no crashes.
Coming up on World's Scariest Plane Landings. Fire in the Sky.